Good morning, everybody. Gonna get this thing going here in a few minutes. Good morning, everybody. PFF Tuesdays. Nerd alert. Who were the highest PFF graded players? Damn spam callers. Don't interrupt me while we're doing football talk with Russell Wayne. I'm getting it ready. We want to thank Detroit Darcy for giving us tickets to go to the Denver Broncos game here at home. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you, Detroit Darcy. Detroit Line News. Who were the highest graded PFF players? I don't even know what week it is. What week is it? The bye weeks mess me up. Lions are 6-2. Had the bye week. So is this week 10? Oh my gosh. How time flies. All right. Good morning, everybody. Put what team you represent into the comments. Good morning, Mike the Bear fan. Good morning, Grit. Good morning, Twain. Good morning, Mr. Vogel. Good morning. Good morning, Scotty Reno. Good morning, Paul Jones. Yeah, good morning, everybody. What is happening out there? Welcome one, welcome all. It's Football Talk with Russell Wayne. That's your boy. I'm your boy right here, Russell Wayne, in the house. And we are broadcasting live into the Detroit Lion News. And I want to thank Detroit Darcy for sending me some tickets into my email for me and Main Event Mike. When he comes on here, I'm sure that he will thank you too. Thank you to Detroit Darcy from the Detroit Lion News for hooking us up with tickets to the game. We are broadcasting live into our own spot, the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. We just crossed 9,000 villains. You guys are doing a tremendous job out there because this is your page. It's not my page. We're all just fans right here, and we're identifying with these villains right here. We don't want to be the villains. We don't want to be the bad guys, but it looks like we got to be the bad guys. But please give us a follow. Give us a follow as we are trucking towards 10,000. Thank you for your support. And thank you to General Manager Brad Holmes for putting together one kick-ass team for us here. And good morning to the Chicago Bear fans right now as we are broadcasting live into Mike the Bear fans page, as well as our YouTube channel. For the people that are watching on YouTube, please give us a like. It's free. It's free love. And if you're watching me, a talking head, talk about football, you're obviously a football fan, and you are in the right place. It is PFF Tuesday. And this is for all you dorky guys out there, just like me. I like to deep dive into this every week. We do this on Tuesday. We go back over the PFF grades, and we will preface this. I saw a comment in here where it was like PFF wins. Okay, yes, Grit coming in right here. This is 100%. This is I'm gonna put a whatever, what do you call those thing at that, an asterisk next to the PFF. This is not the end all be all. Grit is correct. This is not going to tell you which guys are good or which guys aren't good. This is just, we're just having some fun on Tuesdays, and we're going to look through some of these PFF grades for the games this week, as well as look at the PFF grades kind of up to this point, because we are at the halfway point of this NFL season. It is flying, right? Don't you think it's flying? I mean, time flies when you're having fun, and we're having some fun this year. It's been a fun NFL season for Lions fans. I don't know how it is for you, and Viking fans got a nice little shot in the arm right there. Congratulations for maybe having a quarterback right there. I like Josh Dobbs. I think he's one of those blue chipper guys that kind of come in. He's looking for an opportunity, and this might be the opportunity for Josh Dobbs, because he's mobile, he's accurate, he has a throw first mentality.
It's my quarterback,
and I like that for the Minnesota Vikings. I don't like it for the fact that it seems like you guys might be competitive now, and now we have to actually worry about you now. Of the 18 people that are watching on YouTube right now, can we please hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that like button, please? It helps, and it's free. Hey, welcome to the program, Main Event Mike, Emmy nominated. Oh, yeah. It's PFF Tuesday. Nerd alert. Nerd alert. All you nerdy guys out there, you're looking for justification for your guys, looking for justification for your boy. You came to the right place. It's PFF Tuesdays right here. And I did put a couple of the people. How you doing, Mike?
I'm good. I didn't get to watch the game last night. I couldn't get it to come in. I couldn't get it to work. So I didn't get to watch any of it.
No?
No. Did you watch it?
No. I didn't watch it either. I'm a Lions fan, man. I let Jeremy B come in with all of the stats from the other games and whatever.
I know, but I wanted to get a whole game look at this Chargers team that the Lions have to face next week, and I didn't get a chance to.
Oh, we will. We'll definitely be doing a review or a preview of that probably later in this week, because I got to deep dive into that too, man. I got to get in my NFL Plus, and I got to look at that condensed game and look at every single play broken down and see what Russell Wayne thinks, because I know that nobody's going to be doing anything on Thursday. For the love of God, can we get a Thursday night game that is worth a crap? Are you kidding me? They got to make us watch this, Mike. So we're going to get a good preview in on Thursday, especially when Grove comes in from And We Know Sports, and we'll look at that. So sorry that we didn't look at the Chargers game. What did you guys think of it? If you watched the game last night, was it a snoozer? Was it everything that you expected of a Monday night football game?
I did read the box score, however, and I know that the Chargers had 8 sacks. Okay, so if we're looking for something like that in San Diego or LA, gosh, I'm going to call him San Diego, I think, forever. But 8 sacks against Zach Wilson, who's much more mobile than Jared Goff. So, yeah. But of course, our offensive line is much better than theirs as well.
You think they're up for the challenge? Because we've been waiting, Mike. We've been waiting a long time. We've been in this waiting room. I think we got screwed over when it comes to waiting for this Lombardi trophy. I want to feel like this is the team. I want to feel like this is good right here. Let's go into some of these comments. Maybe we won't even get to PFF Tuesday. They all say PFF sucks anyway. But let's look in here. We got Brent. What's going on? He says, hey, Fred. And so that means that Fred's here too. So happy to Fred and Brent right there. Good morning, Fred. It's a great day to be a Lion.
Every day is this year.
Rob says that Dobbs is okay. He's not as good as Cousin, in my opinion. That's fair. It's
Kid's a gamer, though. Kid's a gamer.
Yep. I liked his performance when he was in Arizona, coming in reserve for Kyler Murray. There wasn't a high drop off in offense, if at all. Maybe he even ran the offense there better than Kyler Murray, the number 1 overall pick. So if the Vikings would have been able to, steal a starting quarterback from another team for a 6th-round pick, this is going to be a good mark on Kwesi. I've been hard on Kwesi. I think he's done some idiotic things since being general manager of Minnesota. But if he hits on this pick, a lot of people will be forgiving Kwesi and maybe even being like, oh, Kwesi's really good. But that remains to be seen.
We said it the day after the trade. The day before the trade, we were looking at all the available free agent quarterbacks, and the list was pretty pathetic. And I thought maybe Colt McCoy is the best option out there, Carson Wentz, the usual suspects. But Kwesi made a great move. He went and got Josh Dobbs, and we lauded that move the next day. We said, great job, Kwesi. Even before the kid even took his first snap, we said, hey, that was a pretty good move, a nice Band-Aid. And now they've clawed their way back, won 4 in a row. They're at 5 wins, Russ, so look out for the Purple Skittle Eaters. They lost Jordan Addison. JJ's coming back, though. Dalvin Cook is he's gone. But, they lost Adam Thielen. They lost so many pieces on defense. We counted them out. And
that's the only weakness. Yeah, for clawing back in. But really, that's the only if you got good quarterback play, you just need to get that running game going. So that's really the only thing. But going into the PFF stuff right here, Joshua Dobbs was the highest graded offensive player that they had in Minnesota at an 82.5 in that game. So congratulations to Joshua Dobbs coming in 5 days. Like, he didn't even know the playbook or whatever. They actually started the other guy, Jaron Hall, who was actually doing pretty good himself. And I think that he's a natural born leader. I think they may have struck something right there, at least a upper. I'm not going to say he's going to be a leader or anything like that, but if he performs between, 16 and 20, it's better than, falling off the earth,
And
So
I heard that actually that all Minnesota Viking fans will be shaving their eyebrows off in honor of Josh Dobbs for the next game.
Let's see. Grit asked where Dobb was
Nothing.
before. What?
Nothing on that. Okay. All right. We'll go. Keep going.
Well, I probably wasn't paying attention.
That's okay. It wasn't even worth paying attention to.
Okay. All right. Where was Dobbs from? And Jeremy Ballrick was right on it, dude. Like, it's like a notification. A Jeremy Ballrick notification comes up. Bing! Arizona, baby. Yeah, they traded and from Arizona. So now Kyler Murray will once again be the starting quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals as they send Josh Dobbs over to the Minnesota Vikings. He beat the Cowgirls with those Cardinals. Yeah, look at that. Sarah in there with the zinger.
It's my quarterback.
And even though he was only 1-7 as a starter, he was competitive. He had the team competitive with the depleted roster in every game. So very rarely did they get blown out in them 8 games. So definitely a gamer. Good pickup by the Vikings.
There you go. There, Vogel in there. I forgot. Dobbs started his career with the Steelers. Yes, he was drafted by the Steelers. Was back up there for a minute, wasn't he? Yeah. They could have given him the shot over drafting Kenny Pickett. So, Dobbs is one of those guys, man. Underappreciated. Maybe he'll find it. Ken says that Anzalone is a monster, and he can contain the most mobile QBs in our division. What do you think of that take, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, he stopped overrunning plays like he did 2 years ago. Last year he started coming, and then he missed that. He whiffed on Josh Allen bad on Thanksgiving last year. But overall, Anzalone's been a stud this year. His PFF grades every week now are near the top of the whole team. So, I mean, the thing about running quarterbacks is if the DBs have to turn their back, you can't play man-to-man with them. You got to be in that zone, and the Lions always struggle in zone. When you're playing man-to-man, the DBs have to turn their back on the quarterback. And when you do that, Justin Fields is gone. When you do that, Josh Dobbs is gone. So we're going to have to play zone defense against this guy to mitigate what he can do with his legs.
So when you're looking at Alex Anzalone, and I did promise people that I would kind of look at a mid-season grade right here. Alex Anzalone grading out at a 72.4 overall as a linebacker. That is a dramatic improvement over years past. That is definitely above the league average in starting linebackers, and in coverage, he's been very good all season as well. He's been a good tackler for the most part. He's had a couple of off games tackling a little bit, but Alex Anzalone, for how hard our fan base, the Lions fan base, has been on him through his entire tenure here, he has outperformed his contracts and was worth every penny of the extension that he got. So good call, Ken. I like that.
You like that?
So Sebastian says Dobbs is the highest QBR in the league on Sunday per ESPN. He had a great game. And he's got weapons like he's never had weapons before. He's got an offensive line for the first time maybe in his career at starting at any point.
Yeah, that last comment though, that is false. Josh Dobbs had a passer rating of 101.8. New Orleans, Derek Carr, in a losing effort, had a rating of 108.8. So that's not true. He did not have the highest passer rating in the NFL last week, and that's just from my notes. I'm sure if we were to look around, that CJ Stroud had a much better passer rating than Josh Dobbs last week.
Right. So can you now? There's some type of thing that Dobbs has that makes it so he has no eyebrows right here. So even though this comment,
No, this was the comment I made that you didn't hear.
This is an incredibly insensitive comment, but at least let's at least educate the audience to why he does not have eyebrows. Mike, please.
He suffers from a condition called alopecia. Alopecia, I believe it is called. And Jada Pinkett famously also has this condition where you can't grow body hair. That was the comment I made that you didn't hear, Russ. That's what Brent's.
Oh, okay, yeah. I said in
honor of Josh Dobbs' performance on Sunday, all Vikings fans will now be shaving their eyebrows.
Oh my gosh. Sarah's not going to do it. I mean, she.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
Oh, gosh. You guys, you're going to get me in trouble on here. I'm trying to keep these viewers right there. By the way, the 19 people that are watching on there, could you please hit the like button over on the YouTube channel right there? Because that helps. Thank you. Sarah says that look what happened against the Browns after he left the Cardinals. They got their ass whooped.
Woo! Sarah's jumping on the Josh Dobbs train, it sounds like.
Hey, you know what? There's nothing that feels better than when you're like a team that was down for, even they were only down for a few games, but having that spark, having something happen, like the Lions last week, where you have a running back that you drafted 12th overall, all of a sudden looks like the 12th overall pick, so when you get your breakout guys and you feel like you have something, I think they have something. I think they have something in Dobbs. So Vogel says that Dobbs is a journeyman. That is correct. The Chargers played in soft zone coverages the whole game. Wilson looked like a deer in headlights. The Jets O-line really wasn't that bad. Oh, okay.
Really? Well, they only had 64 yards rushing, Paul.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. Their quarterback was sacked 8 times.
And here's another thing too. This is something that Jeremy and I were talking about. We should, like, the Lions fans are feeling very confident. We can go in there and just get this win. Now, this is the team that on paper looked like it should be a contending team, like a Super Bowl contending team, and they haven't put it together all season. It seems like they'd been missing something. Well, it looks over the last 2 weeks that the Chargers are a team that is starting to play up to what they look like on paper. So I'm scared of the Chargers like I'd be scared of the Dallas Cowboys in this upcoming week when it comes to the Chargers. I think Justin Herbert is an upper echelon quarterback.
It's my quarterback.
NFL. He's not my quarterback. Jared Goff's my quarterback, but Justin Herbert is a good quarterback in the NFL. He got an extension because he's a good quarterback, and the Lions will be ready. I believe they will be ready, but they better be ready. All right. Jeremy B in there. After then Dallas, everybody whooped on the Cardinals. Okay. So Angelone is the beast here. Go ahead, Mike.
They were competitive in most games on that, Jeremy. You go back and look at those 8 games that Josh Dobbs started, winning only one of them.
This is an interesting one, and it sounds like a rip right here where Grit comes in and says the Lions backup's better than Dobbs. He's more underrated than Love is going into week 4. And there could be truth to that. Teddy Bridgewater is a good quarterback, and he might be better than Josh Dobbs. It looks like, like it's a rip, but, Teddy Bridgewater is a pretty good QB too. And so
of course,
is that a good call?
Of course, Josh Dobbs wearing Teddy B's old number there in Minnesota.
All right. I feel like I'm losing my mind in here. Let's get back into some of these stats here. We haven't even talked about the Chicago Bears at all yet. And I wanted to get into the guy that I put onto the poster, your poster boy, Tevin Jenkins. Tevin Jenkins. So if you want something to hang your hat on, Chicago Bear fan, Mike the Bear fan, Tevin M-F and Jenkins with a 91.1 grade for this week, tearing it up. I mean, even in the loss, you were telling me that yesterday, Mike, about how the Chicago Bears lost the game, but they almost felt like they were the best team out of the North that week, even though they lost their game. It was turnovers. The Chicago Bears beat the Chicago Bears. They didn't lose to the team they were playing. The Chicago Bears beat the Chicago Bears, but they had some guys that are starting to step up right there. So Tevin Jenkins gets my PFF Chicago Bears grade of the week right there. So hang your hat on that, Bear fan.
Mm-hmm. He's been injured a lot this year. Comes back in, has a great game. Too bad like you said, the team turns the ball over 5 times. It would have been a nice road win for Chicago too to beat the Saints. That would have been a nice one for them.
Right. I mean, even Bajent coming in at a 63.1. I mean, I know that's nothing to call home about, but that's not a bad game. I mean, even with the 3 INTs, he was decently efficient in the game. He's an accurate throw. I think he's got a better arm than Fields. Fields is going to come back, but I don't know. I think that you got at least a viable backup in Tyson Bajent and somebody that you can work with, over the next few years.
He also chipped in 70 yards rushing, which is nothing to sniff at.
Right. Yeah. You got that classic dual threat dude. So, let me see. I'm trying to let me get into some of these Green Bay stats.
I thought you were on Chicago. I wanted to see TJ Edwards' PFF grade. He had 15 tackles against New Orleans.
Okay, let me get in here. Let me get back over there then. I was doing offense first, but yeah, we can go one to the other. And I don't want to go and I was doing top 5s, but sometimes the guys that are in the top 5 don't deserve to be mentioned, Right. So right. I'm going to just go with standouts right here as we're working on how we're going to be doing these shows, but I want to do standouts. And you said, who did you want to see?
TJ Edwards.
TJ Edwards. Okay, there you go. TJ Edwards graded out at a 77.3. He had an 84.1 tackling grade and a 75.9 pass rushing grades.
Those are high marks across the board.
They are. I mean, when you're in you're talking like good, Pro Bowl type of production between 70, 80, and 90. 90 is like elite. That's almost like a perfect game. If you're in the 90s and PFF, they looked at your play and they were like, okay, he's pretty much perfect.
And while you got those guys, the next guy I'm interested in is Taysom Hill, who was 4 of 13 receiving for a touchdown. He was 11 rushes for 52 yards with a 4.7 yard average, and he passed for a TD. I'm really interested to know what kind of PFF grade that kind of game gets you in a win.
Well, let me finish up these defense. I'm just going to put some honorable mentions, just some nice. Jalen Johnson had a pretty nice game coming in at a 76.3. Kyler Gordon had a good game tackling, even though his game wasn't great, but he was a sure tackler with an 81 tackling grade. And free safety Dron Harmon came in at a 75.2 tackling grade. So good job on the defense right there. So let's get into the New Orleans side. You said, who did you want to see? Taysom Hill?
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill had a 75.9 overall grade. That's was a second highest rated player. They had a lot of good rated players in the 70s. That Derek Carr, James Hurst, left guard, center, had a good game. Yeah, they had a good game on the offensive line against Chicago.
Yeah,
So,
Chicago able to generate 0 sacks.
right. So,
Hey, what about Montez Sweat in his first game as a Bear? What was his PFF grade?
let's go and see. I think it's going to be the opposite. If the offense, usually when the offensive line does real good, then I'm not going to see very good defensive line. But we'll see. Sweat. There he is, right in the middle. 62.3 overall.
You told me once anything over 65 is good.
Right, he's like a little, like a smidgen, like in the average. I would just say it was an average game. If you're judging just by the stats going across the board, he's a pretty good tackler. He had a 71 tackling grade. His pass rushing grade was 58.8. They looked like he was pretty handled. The entire defensive line. I don't see a defensive lineman.
It doesn't sound like it's worth 24.5 mil a year to me.
Well, I mean, it's his first game going. I mean, he's got to learn how they pass rush and all that good stuff. But let me know if there's any of the deep. If you want to look at a specific player, I'll look up a specific player. Throw that into the comments if you want to see a certain person. Wait till Justin Jefferson gets back. Yeah, that's the thing. You know, you got an ascending team with these Minnesota Vikings. Now we just pivoted back here going into the comments, but the Minnesota Vikings look like a real team now, Mike. If Flores has got this defense even in the middle of the pack, that's a explosive offense, especially in the air. I mean, I had to change my tune a couple of weeks ago because I thought that Minnesota was going to be really bad. I thought all those defensive players that they lost, but it turned out that Flores came in and was able to, make some lemons out of the lemonade, strike that, reverse it.
Lemons out of lemonade?
Lemons out of lemonade. Yeah, turn that shit right back into a lemon. Oh, gosh. So keep Jordan's name out your mouth, main event, Mike. Fade his name out your mouth.
That's a good one. Sarah with a zinger this morning. We appreciate you. Will Smith coming in right now.
Jordan's name out your mouth, main event, Mike. Oh, thank you, Sarah. Your time, you're right on time. In treatable conditions.
What, alopecia is a treatable condition?
I don't know.
I don't think it is treatable. With a wig, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if he's calling him out for not having eyebrows. Maybe it's a choice thing, and that he's going. Maybe
that's why he's so fast, because there's no hair to.
It doesn't hold him back.
There's no drag.
I think that's next generation right there.
Mm-hmm.
He might be. I already shaved my eyebrows, Mike. I love it. That's fandom right there. Right there, Sebastian. Oh my. You like that. That's the great. That's the greatest right there. Wow. Sebastian. That's like fandom. That is fandom at its finest right there. Oh. Choo choo, baby. Choo choo. Why not? Right, Sarah? Right there. Here come the Viking fans out of the woodwork. I even saw Jamez put a positive comment in that group that doesn't matter because they only allow certain people into it. Sarah says the pastronaut, the rocket scientist. He's the pastronaut.
Yeah, he has a degree in aerospace engineering.
It's my quarterback.
Oh my gosh, this is real. Sarah, you need to work on that page, the Vike Queen page. We'll help you out right there because, dude, if you made a meme like that and threw that out on your page that says it's the pastronaut and put like a helmet on him, like,
yeah,
I mean that would crush. That would crush.
From now on, we will only refer to Dobbs as Pastronaut.
Steve is real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Sup, everyone. Let me talk to you. You don't get that just because you don't watch wrestling, but that's how he starts his. Let me talk to you. Yeah. And then gets everybody into it.
Way too much wrestling references on the show last night.
Oh. Get all these dorky wrestling guys. Hey, this is a PFF show. We probably have the most amount of wrestling fans in the comments today because this is the dorky show. If you're in the next gen stats and you're into the PFF grades of your team, then you slipped onto the right show because that's happening. That's happening right now. We got all the nerdy stats right there. I got the subscription. I got the elite subscription, the big bad boy. I can dig deep. I can find some stats that make even your shittiest players look good.
Yeah. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us at Detroit Lions Villain Squad. You are watching NFC Nerd Talk with Russell Wayne.
Oh yes, it's football talk. We do this 5 days a week. We try to have some fun with it, and the PFF deal it's something that is out there. They use it, they reference it all the time,
and you pay for
it. And I pay for it, but it's I like it. I like it. The best thing that I love about PFF, whether you love it or not, is that it grades offensive and defensive linemen that don't normally get stats. There's not really the only time that you ever see an offensive lineman show up in the stat line is when he's getting owned. Oh, he gave up 3 sacks. Okay, well, you don't want to be in the media. So if nobody's talking about your offensive line, then it's probably awesome.
That's a great point. That's a great point. And that is a very valuable tool for PFF to grade offensive linemen, because when you look at the box score, you don't see Frank Ragnow's name.
Well, look at these, like when I'm going into these Chicago Bear stats, right? Here I'm looking at these Chicago. You would have never known that, right? Did you know that Tevin Jenkins was a dog in this game for you guys? That he was road grading, he was moving people. Nobody else was, but he was moving people. He was a road grader, and that's what you want. Run blocking, Tevin Jenkins, run blocking 90. He wasn't as good on pass blocking, but a 90 run blocking, that is just moving your dude. Move, get out, move, bitch. Get out. He's playing the song in the background and moving to it. Get out the way, bitch. Yep. Get out the way. My running back's about to run through this hole. You need to move. So good job. And that's what PFF did for us today. I think that's cool. Right there. Tevin Jenkins. When do you ever get love? Look at that big fat guy on the right side. When do you ever give? That's big guy love. We giving love to the big men today.
And that's big man with a baby face.
Yep. And then when he wears the glasses, he looks like the Wild Thing from Major League.
He looks like Kid and Play had a baby.
Oh, I didn't even have a good drop for that. I wanted to have something. That one was awful. Oh gosh.
Acknowledge me.
There you go. Like there, had a baby. Kid and Play. Oh, I can't do this, Mike. Oh gosh. Oh, well, okay. So I might as well just go ahead and plug everything because I don't know what else to say right now. But we're broadcasting live right now into the Detroit Lions news. I'll give you an opportunity right now, guys. Thank you to Detroit Darcy for giving us tickets to the Denver Broncos game. Me and Mike get to go to the game, courtesy of Detroit Darcy from Detroit Lions News. You have anything you want to say about that, Mike?
Thank you, Darcy. She's awesome.
Oh man, I'll tell you what. Here's what I love about the Detroit Lions news: is they're a lot like us in this way, where they're fans. This is a fan page that's run by fans. They're not paid by the Detroit Lions, or they don't get any big giant corporate sponsors. They've been doing this shit for years, and they do it because they love it. It's not like all this grandiose. They're not raining money out of the sky. We're not getting paid the big bucks to do this. We do this. We bring you this content because we love the Detroit Lions. And that's what it comes down to. Whether it's them or it's our page, we just crossed 9,000 villains, Mike. 9,000 villains that are believing in this Detroit Lions team. And I don't give a shit if you're on the bandwagon. I don't care if you've been following them for 5 minutes. I appreciate the people that watched every single one of those 0-16 games and that are still a Lions fan, and maybe you get a payoff right there. But thank you to all of the villains that follow the page. We're on our way to 10,000. Hit that button, hit that follow button, hit the like button on the video that you're watching right now. And we appreciate you. We really do. This is really awesome. We never thought that anybody gave a crap about talking football heads. Okay. I mean, we're just fans and we're not know-it-alls, but we do study tape. We don't study any tape. Actually, I couldn't even say that with a straight face and keep it going. We watch the games. We watch all the games. Maybe we watch more replays than some people, but
we've done our research.
But we've done the research. Yeah, we don't subscribe to that. We get shit wrong. This is the home of the bad takes. Like we're wrong most of the time, like the prognosticators, unless you're betting. If you're betting, you should listen to me because I usually get the point spreads right because I'm kind of good at that. But
yeah,
I don't bet myself. I don't bet myself.
You won last night. I lost last night. You successfully picked 8 out of 13, but we'll go over that on Friday. If you're in the betting sphere and you're interested in that, you want to get Russell Wayne's picks on this very show on Friday morning at 11 a.m. where Russell will show you what the Swami can do.
The Swami can do, and that's cool. It almost sounds like that we're organized within our football talk. Like we do nerdy stuff like PFF stuff on Tuesdays, and on Fridays we do all the betting stuff, all of the lock picks and the point spread stuff for all the games. That sounds like fun. Thursdays we get GT in here from Andrew Knows Sports, and then we do our review previews. I like that too.
Yeah,
that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Does anybody know that? Here's a question from Brent. Does anybody know just how much did the Bears pay for the linebackers with Sweat? Also, I've heard some different numbers, especially from Bear fans. Well, Bear fans,
I can tell you that.
Bear fans think they're playing for free. Like they should just play because we're the Bears. Hey, you should just play with us because we have a history of linebackers. You should play for $1.50. Titka.
TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds combined is $72.5 million a year, and Montez Sweat is $24.5 million a year. So when you add that together, Brent, it is $97 million a year. That's like what? Is that a third? What's the salary cap? Is $281 million.
That's what you call a premium on linebacker. Okay. That's a
281
that is
divided by 97 equals. Yeah. That's.
But can you hate on him for it? Can you really hate on him for it? Because when you're trying to rebuild your franchise, you got to get the people to come in and play. I mean, they won't go. Why would they want to come and play for a 3-win team? So you have to overpay in the beginning. The Lions know about that. We had Trey Flowers, Michael Brockers, Jamie Collins. We had you got to pay for these guys sometimes. And then when you miss, please don't miss. Don't miss on one of these big guys. These guys better be sweet. You just paid Montez Sweat like he was Nick Bosa. I like Montez Sweat, but he ain't Nick Bosa.
He's not Myles Garrett.
He's not Myles Garrett.
But look, think about it. That's 30% of your salary cap in 3 guys. That's not a quarterback.
Yeah. But that's a lot of money. And that's a great point. Steve Israel loves your
thanks for the question, Brent.
Yes. Thank you for a question. That's awesome. I love comments are great. But Kid and Playface, yeah, let me talk to you. Let's see. That's the genetic experiment of the kid play in Queen Latifah. Oh gosh, I'm not that far behind, am I? Okay. Steve is real. Yeah, I'm actually designing new uniforms for the colors for the Detroit Lions. Really? Are you? Are you drinking the Kool-Aid now too?
I feel like there's a punchline coming here, Steve.
Let's see. The Lions color and black and white and silver. The Lions fan color,
Tan
color. The Lions tan color?
Yeah, like this Lions hat here, which is the salute to service.
Oh, okay. Overpaying for
I still feel like there's a punchline coming, Steve.
Maybe he's just like, maybe it's not a jump. Maybe he's actually designing something that's going to be really cool.
Maybe he has a job.
That's why we have 20 million in dead cap now, overpaying for mid talent.
That's right.
I think we have 20 million in dead cap now for like getting rid of like Okuda. I think that was a big dead cap hit. So drafting. I guess I thought that Trey Flowers, I thought that dead cap was already gone, but
it is. It's gone now. It's fallen off.
Now it's gone.
Right, but he's talking about so he's saying why we're 20+ million in dead cap now.
Right. We had a couple of players that we had to move on from that had where we signed like those extra years that don't mean anything, like those dead years. We have to pay for a couple of those. Holy shit! Sweat is 44 million a year.
No, 24.5.
24.5. Oh, I love I love the exaggerations. At least Bears are building in the trenches. That's good, but it's a lot. They're building in the trenches.
That's a good take. Yeah, that's a good take right there. I like that.
I guess. I mean, where would you say? Because they
drafted Darnell Wright. They brought in Nate Davis. Now they bring in Montez Sweat on the D line. So yeah, they're addressing. That's where you got to start. That's where the great teams are built.
Yeah, they did draft. They did get Gerwin Dexter late too. That was a pretty
another
good pick.
call. Yep.
So that was the guy that I like too. Yeah. So I like what they're doing. They just got to get them playing together now. You know,
we actually said, you and I both said on the show last night that we looked at what the Bears are doing as probably the biggest challenge for the Lions next year.
Yeah, the Bears may not be the greatest right now. Yeah, but a 5-year plan. I see the Bears right now look like they have the best plan, unless this Josh Dobbs miracle works out for them. Because if they can get a cheap quarterback, that's all. I mean, that's a key to managing the cap. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear more grades. Okay, let's get back in here. I'm sorry. Thank you for keeping me on track, on task, Sarah. Sometimes I just start rambling, right here.
So let's go with some Minnesota grades for Sarah.
Right. That's right. On offense, you got good tight ends. Damn, every week they show up here. Even your backup tight end, Johnny Munt, he only had 6 snaps. But every time I see his name on there, it's like 88 pass blocking, good pass blocking tight end. TJ Hawkinson with another good game at 74. Cam Akers had a good game. That's unfortunate that he got injured.
Gone for the year.
Right.
Johnny Munt, his nickname on the team is Cake.
But there's nobody else really. Oh gosh, we got the lame jokes today, folks. We're ready. We came prepared.
It's the nerd show. I came prepared.
You came with it. You came and saw. All right, and really, I'm not going to go into much of the other grade. Do you want to hear your
I want to hear. I want to hear what Josh Dobbs' grade was. I want to hear what
he was the top one. We went over that one first.
Did we? How about Jordan Hicks? He had 11 tackles.
Okay, so just I'll do like. I mean, the top Joshua Dobbs had an 82.5 Hawk with a 74.0, but then all the other guys were just kind of like average. The low grades, Garrett Bradbury, the center, had an awful game. Right tackle had an awful game. Jaron Hall didn't have a good game. These are 50, 49, 45. So, but everybody else was just kind of average. I mean, let's see. Quesberry had the left tackle had a good game pass blocking, 87 grade pass blocking.
How about Jordan Hicks on the defensive line?
Let's go into on the defensive side of the ball. The Minnesota Vikings, Byron Murphy
had an
was the
interception.
highest. He was the highest graded guy at an 81 point stellar game right there. 89 in coverage for Byron Murphy. Good game for him. Bounce back game for him. Then Casey Bynum had a good game too. Cameron Bynum. I said Casey Bynum. I'm looking at two.
He's been playing well all year.
75 point. Yep. 75.8 total and 73 in coverage. So that's nice. Daniil Hunter had a good game. 75.8. Blackman had a good game at 66.5, 76 tackling. Pat Jones, we'll go down. You said Hicks. You wanted to hear Hicks?
Yeah, he had 11 tackles in the game. He led the team in tackles. So I'm just interested.
60. Yep.
Go ahead.
Here's what the funniest thing about like all the stats, right? So he had all those stats. He was a 61 overall. He was actually only a 40.7 in tackling grade. So he obviously missed some tackles too.
That makes me wonder about PFF sometimes when I hear stuff like that.
Well, I mean, I think when you see the tackles, the tackles show up in the box score, and then you instantly go, "Oh wow, great game!" But maybe it's because they shoved all of the plays right to that guy, and he had a chance to make 20 tackles, and he missed. You know what I'm saying? Like there could be some other things, and I think that's probably what happened in that case, because you usually don't see somebody with 11 tackles that grade out that low. So. But the worst guys were Pat Jones, Ballard, Roy on the defensive line. So Ivan Pace had a really bad game. So, but there you go. But you win the game. If you win games where some of your good players play bad, that's a win, you know. Let's move on to like Green Bay. I didn't really say much about Green Bay. I know they're all on witness protection other than Steve. Well, Steve is real. Steve is real. He is a real person. And he is here. And Emmanuel Wilson, with his 8 snaps graded out of 91 total. I usually don't mention if they don't have the high snaps, but that's somebody that they liked in preseason. Most of the Green Bay fans talking about how he's going to be better than Gibbs. And but he had a good game. Jordan Love was actually the highest graded player on offense, 83.2. That's why he made the cover. And I had to just to be correct and not to be the homer that I am, I had to take off the Love stinks part of. I had that on there for a couple weeks, Mike, but I couldn't do it this week. I couldn't do it and be correct because Jordan Love deserves to be on the cover because he had the highest grade of any offensive player that played significant snaps. Jordan Love, 83.2.
I'm not surprised. He was very efficient. I mean, he completed 20 of 26 passes. That's very, very good. Did not turn the ball over either. Zero interceptions, passer rating 115.5. So not surprised that Jordan Love was one of the highest rated players. I mean, the Packers were able to run the ball for 184 yards, but the real story on this game was the poor quarterback play of the Rams. I'm not going to put it on, and that's why the Packers won. No, they won the game. Kudos to them. I'm not taking anything away from them. But just to give you a little context, Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp combined for 5 catches on 15 targets. That's bad quarterback play, my friends. Daryl Henderson, 10 carries for 19 yards. That's a 1.9 yard average. No, the offense did not help the Rams at all. If they'd have been able to put up just a touchdown or two, this game might have gone the other way. Because,
Right.
and I'm going to say that, I'm sorry. The reason I'm going to say that is because they didn't have Quay Walker, arguably their best tackler, their best linebacker for sure. They had 8 penalties. They were only 1 for 4 in the red zone. They had a couple of turnovers. So I think Green Bay was very fortunate to catch this Rams team when they did the way they did.
And looking at some of these players, they just traded Rasul Douglas, and the best graded player was the guy that replaced him. Their 7th round draft pick, Kerryon Valentine, was their best graded defensive player at 84.9.
Wow.
But as you alluded to right there, Mike, you're talking about a quarterback that can't throw the ball that he was playing. I mean, take nothing away. You play the team that's in front of you. I am not going to be that. We're not going to do that whole thing. A good game is a good game. He deserves his flowers, and I'm going to give it to him. Left end, Colby Wooden, Isaiah McDuffie, Devondre Campbell, Jair Alexander, Nixon, Preston Smith, Lucas Van Ness, all of these guys grading above 70 in PFF, and which just, that is a sheer sign of exactly what you were talking about, which is you have an offense that just wasn't going to produce, wasn't executing at all. And that's what happens when you have a whole bunch of guys that are, right in that nice, everybody played good. It's nice. It's nice when they can't do anything. And that's what the stat lines look right there. Good job for the Green Bay defense. You play the team that's in front of you and you executed and whoop that ass. Congratulations. Let's go to the
13 of 28. That's below 50%, folks.
But here's something that they can control, which is they are playing defense. And I want to tell the story of the game from the offensive side. You got left tackle, Rasheed Walker, and then left tackle Yash Nijman. I guess he's the back. They both played about the same amount right there. Elgin Jenkins came back right there. Right tackle Zach Tom. So those are some of the highest graded players that were on offense for the Green Bay Packers, which tells you that they were able to control the line of scrimmage with their offensive line against that good, the vaunted Aaron Donald. Like you said, he was huffing wind. They were handling him. That's because they were handling him all game long. The defensive player of the year, the Green Bay offensive line was protecting. And if they protect Jordan Love could become a good quarterback. If he's able to sit back there in his spot without getting knocked off of his spot, be able to read the defense, make read 1, read 2, read 3, I think that he's going to be a better quarterback if they keep playing on the offensive line like that, which is, I want to see the NFC North be competitive. I don't want to run over people. I still want to whip their ass every single time, but I'd like to see him be competitive.
I think the Packers got a tough sell next week going into Pittsburgh. Also, that's going to be a tough game for them.
Right.
I think Jordan Love's going to see TJ Watt a lot. So, yeah. Panthers, of course, Bears. We talked about that's going to be on Thursday night. Bears get at least get that game at home. Why do we have Harbaugh on there?
You know what? I want to acknowledge the fact that Michigan was absolved from the Big Ten. They won't take. Isn't that what happened?
No, they were absolved by the NCAA. They still face sanctions by the Big Ten. That decision hasn't been made yet.
That I thought I saw it this morning. I was reading it this morning. I think they passed it down. The Big Ten is not going to take any actions against Jim Harbaugh or or the University of Michigan.
That would have had to have happened since the show's been started today, because I was reading the article just before we went on. And
maybe I got tripped up with one of those stupid like clickbait articles or something like that. So I apologize if that's what it was, but I wanted to, congratulate the enemy right there.
But in the guidelines, the Big Ten for this kind of infraction, the penalty would be for the head coach would get a 2-game suspension, and it could be as much as a $10,000 fine. That might be the extent of it, but we don't know yet.
Right on. So I'm sorry to take us off of the grid right there, but I think that's it. I think that's all the games, right? Did I not hit somebody because we didn't play? So
Right.
Did I forget anybody? I got all three.
Don't think so.
I got all three of the teams. Okay, cool. All right. So, but I wanted to hit some of is there anybody? Oh shoot, my battery's running low. Hold on 1 second, Mike.
Hit him up anyway. You want me to go ahead and plug the show?
Go ahead and well, 1 second. Just give me 1 second so I can plug this thing back in. All right.
Wait, Jeremy's got a comment here. He says nothing is happening with Harbaugh in Michigan because the NCAA found that 4 teams stole signs from Michigan as well in the Big Ten. So it's not just the Wolverines; it's rampant in the whole conference. But the Big Ten has not ruled yet, Jeremy. That's supposed to come down tomorrow.
Right. Yeah. I feel like I'm a big sucker for wrong information right there, so I'm not going to give any credence to that either. Especially knowing that Jeremy's a Michigan fan too. He would love to. Yeah, everybody's doing it. So I'm not going to go on that. They wouldn't have brought all these sanctions down if it was just an everybody's doing it thing. I'm sorry, guys, but I hope they get to the bottom of it. But I hope that the kids that go to the University of Michigan don't have to suffer in this. I hope that they get to play because obviously now.
Jeremy also says, tell Russell that OSU was one of the teams caught stealing Michigan signs. Ho, ho, ho. Who's a hairless, poisonous nut now?
Wow. I can't believe that you and Jeremy are that irresponsible to come onto a live show. Is that confirmed?
It's from Jeremy Ballrick. So
it's from Jeremy Ballrick, and you decided to break it on a live show right there, unconfirmed. Jeremy could have just typed words into a box, and you said, "Oh, I got the stick one to Ohio State." Oh, my gosh, you guys! How irresponsible! Shame on both of you guys. My gosh. I'm up here telling you guys, like saying, hey, congratulations, your team might not be done. And you use it as an opportunity to take a shot. Oh my God. Hey, all I'm going to say, good morning, Michigan fan. You are 100% Michigan. That is it. That is the most Michigan response I've ever heard in my life from both of you guys. Wow. All right. You've been watching PFF Tuesdays right here. We went through all the PFF teams. I decided to use the Lions segment on Jim Harbaugh because we didn't play a game. So, but we're going into week 9. We can start. Week 10.
Can I talk to you about something that you and I on our private phone conversation? I keep forgetting to mention this, and I want to do it right now while I'm thinking about it. I'm seeing these reports that David Montgomery's coming back, Jonah Jackson coming back, Frank Ragnow is going to be healthy. This is huge, right? I mean, this is huge. Talk about it, Russ.
I honestly, it's like one of those things where you go through 6 weeks of excuses from other people of why you're in these close games, sometimes why you get truck sticked and everything. And not one time did we use the excuse of injuries, right? But if we start truck sticking some teams from here on out because we get Frank Ragnow, Jonah Jackson, David Montgomery, and a budding star in Jahmyr Gibbs, and an explosive offense and ascending defense, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if we just start beating down some teams because our team's talented. We're getting some guys back, Mike. Mm-hmm. These are real guys. Frank Ragnow's a top 5 at his position. Mm-hmm. Jonah Jackson was playing top 5 at his position. Penei Sewell is top 5 at his position.
Yeah, it's huge. And there's a lot of chatter out there about Dan Campbell getting coach of the year. And I get that. But I think they showed last year that coach of the year is kind of a sham. I don't know how Brian Dable won it over some of these other candidates. Kevin O'Connell deserved it more, in my opinion. There were a couple in the AFC too. But if Brad Holmes doesn't win executive of the year, the whole thing, I've lost all faith in all that. Those awards. I don't know what the hell's going on. He had an incredible historic draft, made some great free agent acquisitions. If Donovan Peoples-Jones ends up with, I'm going to say 4 or 5 touchdowns just the rest of the year, Brad Holmes deserves executive of the year. If we win this division, that's the only, I don't care what happens when the playoffs start. If the Lions win the division for the first time in 30 years, you are robbing this man if you don't give him that hardware.
I mean, you looked at it the first year, hold on, pump the brakes. Second year, pump the brakes, pump the brakes. But when you stack 3 drafts in a row like that, where you got 23 out of 23 of your picks that are still vying for a position on this team. And really, at the worst case, you could say 20. Let's just say 20 picks. And then you got guys like Jamar Jefferson, because you don't want to tout that, right? I mean, you got practice squad guys. And even if you wanted to say Jameson Williams is a bust and Levi Onwuzurike is a bust, it's still 20 out of 23 picks, even if you want to make those stupid arguments. That is amazing. I don't know of anybody in the history of the NFL as an executive that has hit at that rate right there. This man is a G. If you don't give him his flowers, if you're giving him shit about not making a trade and overpaying at the trade deadline, then shame on you. Stop it. Stop it. You want to trade a 3rd round pick for Chase injured Young? You want to trade a 3rd round pick? No, I want this beautiful bald man right here to make that 3rd round pick. Because look what he brought us in the 3rd round. Kirby Joseph, Aleem McNeil, 2 of the best players at their position. This is a 3rd round pick, right? Lowest passer rating allowed in the NFL. Let's go. You want to trade that pick for Chase Young, who's never played 1 down with this team. You have no idea if he's a cancer. You have no idea what his knee is like. He might be good, Mike. He might be good here. You want to trade a 3rd round pick? You want to trade a 3rd round pick? Aleem McNeil's about ready to have a career year from the interior, and you wanted us to go and get Jalen Carter. I have no problem with that argument other than this. We traded down from 6 to 12. Jalen Carter was not available at that point. Let's just make the argument here. Let's go back in time and let's go ahead and take Jalen Carter at 6. Do you know what happens then? Then you pick 18. You don't get Sam Laporta. I mean, there's a whole.
You also don't get Jahmyr Gibbs because Bill Belichick said they were going to take him at 14.
So you don't get Jahmyr Gibbs. You don't get Sam Laporta. Who are the biggest impacting rookies this year on offense, other than the quarterback? Oh, Jahmyr Gibbs and Sam Laporta. Oh, okay. Yeah. So if you want Jalen Carter, you want to go back in time, I have no problem with Brad Holmes betting on Aleem McNeil and the depth of his defensive line over going to get the name. The name. I need to go get a name, Mike. I need a name on my team.
Nope. Here's a name.
So.
Hendon Hooker in the 3rd. That's a 3rd round pick. We don't even know yet. Broderick Martin. We don't even know yet.
Right.
We could be talking about these guys in a couple of years the way we're talking about Aleem McNeil, right now.
Or maybe it's same old line. Maybe we should get out our PTSOL hats and it's going to happen to us again. Every single one of those picks, Mike, all 20 of them they're all going to all of a sudden turn into garbage. They SOL, right? That's what we're supposed to be afraid of, right?
PTSOL, post-traumatic
Yep.
Same Old Lions.
It's
Reminding everyone that PTSOL is a registered trademark of the Main Event 365. All rights reserved.
Please drink responsibly.
Please drink responsibly.
No, but it's not the Same Old Lions for that reason. Like, the Lions have been strong in every position through history, right? You can go through and you can find a point in history where they were strong at one position or another, this and that, but they've never been strong in depth. They've never been strong in depth. It's a weird thing to think about, but it's like, we may not have the top echelon players like what you guys want, or they may become those guys eventually, but right now we have a whole bunch of guys that can step in and play. They're all really, really good. And if somebody gets injured, the next man's good. If that guy gets injured, the next man's good. Like, we've never had that. Not in Detroit. I mean, maybe I think Green Bay's used to having pretty deep teams. Chicago has had a couple deep teams here and there. They've had some nice teams over the last 20 years, a couple here and there. Just Detroit, we've had high-end teams where there was some top-end talent that was really, really good, but it fell off like a freaking cliff. Next man up is like, like that. We, like a lemming falling off a mountain. But
it's the NFC North Open Mic every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. We had a really good show last night. If you were there, put it in the comments. Tell us what you liked the most about it. If you weren't there, please tune in next week on Monday night. NFC North Open Mic, hosted by Main Event Mike and produced by the Maestro Russell Wayne, 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
I love it, man. I forgot that you said you wanted to go, Mike, and I'm sorry I kept you on so long.
That's right, okay. I just got a notification that my conference call was canceled, so I'm good.
Oh, right on. So what I'll do right now is, I threw myself off right there. I'll put it into the back right there. But you are watching right now. This is what you're looking at. This is Football Talk with your host Russell Wayne. That's me. And that QR code will send you to our YouTube channel. Which, if you're watching right now, can you please hit that like button? Can you please hit the subscribe button? I don't mean to sound like a broken record on that. But that stuff helps out so much. It makes us feel so good that so many people want to talk football on a regular basis. And today, it's PFF Tuesdays. We went through all the PFF grades today, and it's been very, very nice and very, very cool. Mike's probably going to stay on for the little the nightcap right here, but I'm going to end this first part of the segment right here with the blessing. I want to say a blessing over your life, and thank you. And thank you for watching today. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again tomorrow at 11 a.m. for Football Talk with Russell Wayne. Nice. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being part of the broadcast today. Those of you that are in the comments. Yeah. Thank you, Jeremy. Jeremy's one of the people that that saw us at our low point. We had some misfortunes when we were starting this page. We built a page, and then it got shut down. I ain't playing blame game or anything, but Jeremy B, you were one of the people that was right there for us. We appreciate you. That's why it was my pleasure to make you an intro video, because you needed it, and I'm happy to help, because that's what we do, is we help each other. We're all football fans. We're all after the same things. We just want to talk football, hang around with football people. A Grit says Aleem has 4 sacks from the interior, and that's 0.5 less than Hutch. That's good for second on the team. I like talking about I think it's an illusion that the Lions need a pass rush. Like they need a pass rusher. Like it's a guy. It's somebody that we need to have on our team in order to be that next step. We need a guy opposite of Aiden. And I don't think that's what I don't think so. I don't think that's what it is, because the defense isn't set up like that. One of the other things that PFF does is it breaks down snaps. How much people are getting snaps. And when you look at the Lions and their defensive line, Aiden gets, he's out there probably 90% of the game. Rushing the pass. Now, all the other pass rushing guys, that's more of a rotation. They're out there less. So you're not going to see guys come in and have, like, Aiden will probably have the best numbers because he's out there most of the time. This makes sense, right? Let's take a look at that. Aiden Hutchinson, right? Let's get an example right here. So, in the last game, Aiden Hutchinson, he had 43 total snaps. Right? Lee McNeil, he's an almost every down player, right? He had 33 snaps. But the 43, 46, Aiden very rarely comes off the field. But then you look at a guy like, Benito Jones, Julian Okwara, Romeo Okwara. So let's go through these numbers. Charles Harris, 10 snaps. Broderick Martin, 11 snaps. Pascal, 22. Kaminsky, 27. Okwara, 5. Romeo Okwara, 5. Julian Okwara, 18. Benito Jones, 24. So, and all of those guys have sacks. So you're not going to see, a guy, like a bunch of guys with 10 plus sacks. What you're going to see is Aiden Hutchinson popping off, and Aleem McNeil is having a great year. He's only a half. You're getting pressure from the outside and the inside. But you're going to see a bunch of the other guys have a couple sacks. And that's really what you see. Julian's got a sack. Romeo's got a sack. Charles Harris has a sack. Kaminsky has a sack. Benito Jones has a sack. Bugs has a sack. So we don't need a superstar on the defensive line. Just keep rotating them in and out. And then they can give sacks away like Oprah. And that's what they bet on. So to get mad at Brad Holmes, because they didn't go get the guy that you like is just childish. Okay. Oh, I thought, they should have went out and signed Chase Young. Oh, they should have made a deal for Daniil Hunter. Okay, well, they tried. Not going to overpay for these guys. To rent. Brad Holmes is building something that's going to last. And he ain't going to mess with that. And I don't want him to. But you can think whatever you want. That's fine. If you don't think that he's doing a good job and that he dropped the ball and that, we had a chance to win a Super Bowl and now we didn't get it because we didn't get Chase Young. Chase Young could have hurt this team, guys. He could have. There's a chance that he would come on and hurt the team. I'm stating facts. Hey, it's third leading pass rusher right now. I'm stating facts too. And I'm glad that you're not mad at Brad Holmes because it's not his fault. Even what you're mad at, you want more pass rush? They get pass rush. They get a pass rush. They sacked the quarterback 6 times in the last game. They had 6 sacks in Atlanta. The thing is like what people tend to do is they look at the worst game and then they act like that's the way that it is all the time. Like I hear people all the time, they're going to cite Baltimore and they're going to cite Carolina. And they're going to bring facts as if that's the way that it is all the time. And it's some deficiency that they'll never get over. You see? And then here's the asterisk against bad teams. What does that even mean? They did it against Kansas City. They pressured Mahomes all day long. And it's funny, it's like the Lions fan base is way harder on the Lions than any other fan base. When you talk about homering, the Lions fans don't homer. There's a couple homer Lions fans, but the Lions fans as a whole, they don't homer. They nitpick. They go find these stats that make the team look bad in their eyes, and then they focus on it. Tampa Bay is a pretty good team that they beat, that they got sacks against, that has a really good offensive line that fights. So I want to ask you, Grit, because if you want to make the excuses, right, and say that, okay, so does that mean, since it was against bad teams, does that mean it doesn't count? Does that mean they should give up on those players? And who did you want? Who did you want? Who did you want Brad Holmes to go get? That, like, I know that you're not mad. How many sacks? You're making your point off of sacks. I'm not talking about sacks. I'm not making a point off of sacks. I'm not making a point off of anything. I'm making a point off of we have a deep defensive line and the consensus. And because I'm not talking to you directly. That's the funny thing is I'll be out here making general statements and you think it's about you. What the F am I talking about? I'm talking about the depth of the defensive line, and that I'm okay with the fact that Brad Holmes didn't go out and trade for anybody. I'm talking about sacks. I'm talking about pressures. I'm talking about getting to the quarterback. I'm talking about getting him off of his spot. I'm talking about wrecking a game plan. Making the offense do something that they're not planning on doing. And that's something that they have done very well throughout the season against good teams and bad teams, even in the ones that they lost. Now, Lamar Jackson? Now, he balled out. What we need is more consistency, but our sack numbers are fine. Yeah. Well, obviously Grit's smarter than me, because I guess I'm supposed to be watching every one of his comments, and his point went over my head. I'm not looking at everybody's comments or anything like that. Hutch is great. Taking on 2 or 3 opens up the potential for other to get pressures without sacks, which is what they are doing. Pressures do matter, like Rob says. You know, Hutch takes on 2 or 3. You know what I saw? I saw Aleem McNeil. On both of his sacks, he beat a double team, which I think is a great sign. But to Grit's point, you want to see him do it against a good team. You want to see him do it against an upper echelon quarterback. I think that's what they're going to get this week. Can they do it against a high level quarterback like Justin Herbert? Because when you think about it, the teams that we beat are the ones that don't have as strong of a quarterback. Now, I do believe Tampa Bay is a good team that we beat, and we got pressure on them. They have a good offensive line. We did a good job there. But Baker Mayfield's not an upper echelon quarterback. Lamar Jackson is, and he wasted us. So, to Grit's point, that's what he's talking about. We have to have, if Brad Holmes didn't make a move at the trade deadline to get that pass rusher, I think that it would only have been a extremely high end pass rusher. Like, I don't think they were just going to go get a guy, because that's what they had. They have a bunch of really good guys on the defensive line. Now, Hutchinson's the only stone cold killer. I understand that part, but the other guys are really good. Kaminsky's a good piece. Romeo's good. Julian's good. Charles Harris is good. They're all good in a different way. Rob says that I think getting Pascal back and Houston back will help. Pascal's been back. Pascal's been okay. He's a good tackler, but he's not getting after. He had 22 snaps. It's nice to see him in there. But they got to get to the quarterback better. You know, even looking at those numbers, you got Aiden. Yeah, Campbell's playing good. Tracy's playing good. Salim's playing good. For Chicago Bears, Tevin Jenkins, baby. Look at that. They are late to pressure. They're getting that pressure because our secondary is seriously underrated. You skipped over that comment. Did I? Yeah. Yeah. I didn't mean to skip over the comment, but you're right. The secondary, Cameron Sutton might be one of the sleeper picks of the free agency last year. I mean, he's playing at a high level. I mean, you don't hear his name a lot because, I mean, the teams aren't thrown at him. So, Jerry Jacobs, you know, except for the abused second game that he had against the Seattle Seahawks, I think that was a gut check for him, honestly. Grit, you could probably agree with me on that. That Jerry Jacobs, outside of that Seattle game, has been good. So, but they do have good. I mean, I think we do have good defensive line pieces. I think Brad Holmes was looking for. There you go. I don't think the point went over my head. I guess I totally missed it. I totally missed it. Like, not in my mind. I missed it. I didn't see it. I literally missed it. Like, you threw it, and I got hit in the head with the ball. No, but I like what Brad Holmes was doing. I can't complain about it too much. They did make a move. They tried to make a move for Danielle Hunter, and I would have had no problem with that, spending some money. But I don't know what that threshold was for him to spend. But Brad Holmes has been killing these drafts, and I think that we're in a position right now where we can contend. I think they do contend for the NFC this year. I mean, maybe Chase Young works out over there. Maybe he gets all of a sudden motivated, you know, playing on a championship caliber team, you know, playing with his old teammate, Nick Bosa. It's actually pretty scary knowing that those guys were on the same team. That was a damn good team. Damn good Ohio State team. They breed those pass rushers. So he's good at setting the edge. I think Brad Holmes would have. I don't think that Chase Young's that type of dude for us. I like the Danielle Hunter. I would have loved to get Max Crosby here, because then maybe you can, you know, move some of them other guys. Because those are good pieces. Kaminsky's a good player. Buggs is a good player. You can count on them to come in and not stink up the joint. In some ways, the defense is still trying to find itself. Like if I'm Aaron Glenn, you know, you're looking for which combinations of guys, you know, out of those 9 defensive linemen that are all good, which combinations work the best together. So what do you think? You think the Lions win this week? Jerry's been great. He's leading the league in interceptions. Before he got injured, rarely see Cam. That's always a good thing. Yeah, we were talking about that a little earlier with offensive linemen, you know? It's like, that's why I like PFF stats. You know, I don't live and die by them, but, you know, having some kind of marker that you can put against, offensive and defensive linemen where you can look at these guys. That helps. Because I want to know these offensive linemen. I want to know that they're doing well. And defensive backs, too. Sometimes they don't get the stats. Well, Cameron Sutton doesn't have interceptions. Well, they don't throw to him. I like having a guy that teams don't want to throw to. Chase definitely wasn't on the list. He was trying to get someone through. Could hear the disappointment in his voice. I'm thinking it was Hunter or Crosby, but the price was too high. And I think that's what it is. I mean, I know Brad Holmes knows how to pick talent, but I think that they know he knows how to pick talent too. And when I weigh, a known commodity that you would have to pay versus what Brad Holmes can give you in that round, I'll take Brad Holmes' brain over the player any day. Because you're going to get that player and you're going to get a cheaper version of that player. I mean, look what he did he flipped Hawkinson and then went and got a younger, cheaper upgrade. Hawkinson's a decent tight end, but Laporta's better. So I like his thinking in that way. You got to get younger at the positions and you got to get cheaper at the positions. I assume now that the team's getting filled that you're going to be, looking to get younger at some of the positions. So I'm thinking offensive line, they're going to start making some investments there. Another, high-end pass rusher, cornerbacks. But they have the solid foundation. It's the recipe for success. That's what the Bears are trying to do. That's what the Vikings are trying to do. Cheaper and younger. That's how you got to win. And that way you can make your moves. Can you contend for the NFC? Well, we'll see. I went long today. I appreciate you guys sticking with me. It's kind of like the nightcap right here. I can't believe there's still 21 people watching. I appreciate you guys. Football Talk with Russell Wayne. Look at that. They're going to torture us again because they can't get any good Thursday night football games. Really? You're going to get flexed? You're going to make us watch this crap. This goes out to all the Dallas fans right here. Dallas, laughing my ass off. You complaining about the refs?
You like that?
That's hilarious. That's the funniest shit I ever heard. You're complaining about the refs. Well, wait. Lions have been waiting on a Lombardi for a while. We've been waiting patiently. All right? Okay? We're trying. Is this the year? So, before I close you out, as a little reminder, we don't have any big corporate sponsors. We're not backed up by the Detroit Lions. We're just fans. We love doing this. We love this. We do this because we love football. We do this because we love our family. We do this because we love how we can use football to spend time with our families, making our Sundays nice so I can take my son out to the game, spend the Sunday with him. So I got my faith, I got my family, and I got my football in that order. Use football. Use football. Don't let football use you. We're going to sing Forward Down the Field. This last piece right here, Mike Valenti, we're coming for you because we're going to sing Forward Down the Field in the Lions Den after every single touchdown. We're never changing the song. Boo cancel culture. Forward down the field. Yeah. All right, we're going to end it the way we love to end it. A little bit of Green Bay tears for you. See y'all tomorrow.
It's not fair. They were so happy. It's not going to be okay.
What's going on, Russell Wayne and the Main Event 365 Network? This is Jason Kabinda from the Detroit Lions. Here to give y'all a shout out, man. We appreciate all the support, man. Know you guys are big fans. Know that you guys are rooting for us to take the North this year, and we're going to do just that, man. Appreciate you guys so much. Just want to give y'all a shout out. Y'all have a great day.